What's up, guys? Welcome back to a video. Actually, this can be one of the first videos after actually starting to do proper videos on this channel. I'm joined by Bakes. This can be a football video where we talk about different topics, etc. The topic we're talking about mainly is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Hot topic at the moment.
Yeah, whether he should be in or out, whether he should get Poch in, anything like that. United fans seem to be very patriotic to him. It's fair play. Like if it's a guy who has more like history at your club, you used to love him if you watched him growing up. You obviously have a soft spot for him.
Of course, you have the soft spot. I mean, like, look at me, I'm wearing a Chelsea shirt now. I would hate to see Lamps get sacked off. Like, I couldn't make it worse, especially considering all he gave to the club. I mean, Adi was more of a super sub back in his day. The affiliation, there's deep roots.
In
it for the fans and for him.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'll ask you, what do you think? How do you think his reign has gone so far, in your opinion?
The only consistent run I think I've seen in this. Okay. As a stand-in interim manager, he was really, really good. He did the job that needs to do. He stabilized United at the time when Mourinho had left it basically shatters. But since he's actually been given the job full time, I've literally not seen one period of stable, consistent results for a long time. I mean, the only time I can think of was back end of last season when they picked Leicester for third or whatever, and Chelsea, in their last little stint. But other than that, I've literally just seen nothing but fluctuation, inconsistency. I just don't think he really commands the dressing room. I don't think the players respect him.
No.
And you need that as a manager, really.
Yeah. Well, if you look at the highlights of, especially the last few games, the players just don't look like they want to be there.
They really don't.
Imagine what a pleasure it'd be to be a professional footballer going out to pitch it once, maybe twice a week.
Dude, I know it's a joke. I mean, I'm just still trying to picture in my head. I can't even fathom this. But imagine him chatting in the dressing room and old Hog Greasy up there saying, "How can I respect you, fam? How can I respect you?" It doesn't work. And you don't have the playing. You don't have the backing of the main players, the pillars of that team. You're not going to get consistent results. I think I heard Phil Neville say today, literally back when in his day. Mark Owen was also with them, saying in his day, you have to have 5-6 players in that dressing room that are commanding the dressing room and are standing with the manager. You can't just have Bruno saying, "Let's get our act together, guys." You need a collective. You need a little triumvirate or 4 or 5, or and really be the core of the team, and then players feed off that energy. And it's just not. It really, the thing is, you can say what you want about Jose Mourinho, but I promise you, he gets respect out of his team.
He does. I respect him.
You can say what you want about Poch, even you can say what you want about Lamps, Jurgen, Pep, but you can't. You can say about every top 6 team. You can even extend the courtesy to Brendan Rodgers, but Ollie, no.
Yeah. Well, let's review his time. Okay, so as you said, when he came in, that half a season or whatever you say, he did an excellent job. Wonderful job. Well done. That's what he needed to do. He did it.
Let me pause you there. At that point, not even necessarily know what you know now, do you think United made the right decision in keeping him instead of going for a Allegri or someone?
No, it was the wrong decision. Even at the time, I said it was the wrong decision. Even though they were informed, I couldn't understand it because it's not like he's not. People forget Ole is not a manager that has come out from nowhere like Frankie Lambs did one season at Derby and now he's at Chelsea. He's spent time. He's been a manager before United for 10, 11 years. doing something in Sweden. I can't remember where it was.
Yeah,
But
like some Nordic country.
yeah.
Minding his business.
So it's not like you can. He doesn't have that kind of quality that you would associate with a Manchester United manager.
No, of course, he doesn't have the pedigree.
So I thought it was a bit of a rash decision at the time, especially that I'm pretty sure at the time Carlo Ancelotti was available, Allegri was available, top quality managers, and they just so that was my thing. Then we move on from there, from when he signed permanently. It almost straight away, the honeymoon period was over. Down.
The results were like that.
And you know what? Fair play. Last season, got them to third. Well done.
Yeah.
But you forget that in the first half of the season, before Bruno came in, they were languishing at the bottom of the table.
They really were. And Bruno came and had this incredible...
he had an incredible effect, I think, on the dressing room. Pogba started wanting to play. Everyone started wanting to play. And now it seems as if
they've slumped back down.
Lost that. Yeah, it's almost like the Bruno honeymoon period is over.
Yeah.
And he did an excellent job, of course, taking them to third, but you can't forget where he was and why it looked so good, because where he was horrible. There's no excuse for a manager to be getting those kinds of results with a quality team that they have.
It is really, I mean, that the depth is actually, I didn't realize until recently how impressive the depth of that team is. Literally the sheer class they have up top. Rashford is arguably one of the best strikers in England, or winger, whatever you want to call him. Bruno Fernandes on the ball, incredible. Pogba, I don't understand where my Juventus Pogba has gone.
Yeah,
I don't know. Like, he just hasn't come back since then, and you keep thinking, now's the time. This is the season. You see one or two little snippets of it, but that's about it. And it's I don't understand what can actually cure this team at the moment. A lot needs to change. I think.
I don't feel like they have proper leadership, because if you think about it, so Ole's first full season, the start of that, signed Harry Maguire for 80 million. Now, regardless of the price tag, at the time it was a decent signing. The price tag makes it not a great signing, but that's where they needed to improve. And English player was playing well at the time. Okay, whatever. After 6 months, he makes him captain.
Yeah.
Now you spoke about the leadership aspect earlier, and a guy who's putting on the captain's armband at a club like Manchester United only after being there for 6 months. It doesn't sit right with me. And I think that showed, maybe it was right at the time for Ole, but it just showed at the time that there was no one taking control of that dressing room, and that's why someone who'd been there for 6 months. Hey?
I think it's really Ole's fault, the fact that he had to go to Maguire and say, listen, can you please decide, because there's literally no one else to do it. It's concerning. You need, even if you've got someone, let me use like Palace as an example, like for the past few seasons, I know he's not playing now, but Luka Milivojevic, like, yes, he was a general in the middle of the park, but he was nothing special in any department. Yeah. But the fact that he can lead a team is arguably a big factor in what kept Palace up every single year. Or, like a Lewis Dunk at the back at Brighton, you've got to have these figures. You have to have these figures. And these are small clubs.
Even like a Jordan Henderson in Liverpool, never being the greatest player technically or anything, but he's just a man motivator, a man's man.
Exactly. I mean, you need those in the team, and you can honestly sacrifice a bit of class, a bit of skill or fitness or whatever the case may be to get that player, to fit that player in your team. Definitely. I don't know if the thing is, United have. I don't understand what's gonna turn them around. Not necessarily as a Chelsea fan that I want them to turn around, but I don't know what will be the catalyst for that. Whether it's bringing in a more experienced manager, whether it's completely doing a bit of Arsenal and kind of getting rid of all the riffraff and resetting. I don't know.
Resetting almost with the players that want to actually play for the club.
Yeah, exactly.
I think a good step in the right direction would definitely be getting Ole out, because for me, he doesn't have that quality that's gonna turn them around. And getting a new manager is not gonna change their outcome like this, or change their fortunes. But he doesn't have the quality to change that around, even if you do give him time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because for me, you can judge a manager by how good or bad he is, but on how often he gets embarrassed by teams. And in my opinion, United have been embarrassed way too many times, way too often.
Yeah.
So
I can't even go away for vacation without seeing them getting smacked 6-2 by Tottenham. What is the deal? But that's classic Jose, to be fair. That is classic Jose. Just to be saying like that.
But when you've got a guy who's a proven team builder, proven to overachieve with not a lot given to him, sitting in the wings, like who is Mauricio Pochettino, who is proven to overachieve, as I said, with less.
Shoestring budget, to be fair.
Hey?
The shoestring of a budget, to be fair.
Yes. Yeah. The only time he actually did badly was when he spent money. But if you what he did with taking that Tottenham team with the amount he spent on it to a Champions League final was And if you've got someone like that who's out of a job, he's waiting, he probably still lives in England. I don't get it. I honestly don't.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely something to do with the board. And see, for the board, right, Ole's done enough. He's got them top four, which brings in the commercial and so, and he's a yes man, he'll do what they say. So for them he's done enough, but for the fans,
they want to see United. I mean, as terrible as United fans can be to the ear, like they want to see their club back where I grew up, like hating this club. Because I see them for the one time I was excited. No way it's possible to actually beat United 2-0, 80 minutes. What's the end of this? What's the scoreline at the end of the game? 4-2. Ronaldo pops up with 2. Where he pops up with 1. And you just pull your hair out every game, thinking, why can't these guys lose? Why can't these guys just stop it now? It's enough.
Exactly. And the whole thing of being in a transition period is over. They're just not good enough at the stands.
I mean, that's one thing that you could argue that Roman Abramovich has done. Although Chelsea have arguably changed managers too often, in order that instant shot of a success, it has worked to a certain extent. Yeah. And now, it's our time to build that legacy, try and implement what Liverpool did with Klopp, but that period of finding out what works, and if it doesn't work, it's cutthroat industry.
Yes.
If Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was a CEO at a top corporate bank or something, he'd be out the door by now.
Yeah.
Football is a very, very forgiving industry in that sense. This man would be out of a job by now. And so I think you shouldn't treat it any differently. You shouldn't.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
He's underperforming. That's not good enough.
So anyways, that's our thoughts on the whole situation. Personally, though, I would love him to stay at United. Just because I know I would honestly be scared of Poch with that team. But
yeah, I think a lot of managers do bits of that team.
Yeah, there's lots. I don't want to get even more into it, but that's the thought of that.
We talk about this all day, but
we could.
But let us know what you guys think, what your thoughts are. Should he stay or should he go? But
Cool.